Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since I made a tutorial, and I had some comments on a video, one of my earlier ones, my third, creating your first map, and I'm going to answer some questions that were given to me. So, one disclaimer is I've changed the map when I was doing some tutorials for someone else, so we will work with what we got. But let's see what the questions are. I believe this was our first one from last night. Somehow my unit player enemies won't show the number on database name and map. Do you know how to show 1, 2, etc.? So I think what that is referring to is that when you have enemies, you have these numbers, they're kind of cut off, but you got a 0. Let me just, so you can see, you got a 0 and a 1 there. I'm just going to cancel out of that. I believe the way to show those is by going to Tools, Options, and then Data, Display ID next to data name. If I unclick that and I go in here, they no longer have those numbers. So we might have to just adjust that. So it says player enemies won't show, and for map. So now, do my maps have their IDs next to them as well? I don't see any IDs there now. We're going to go back to Tools, Options, Display ID next to data name, and now we have the numbers. So that's how you fix that. Okay. So I replied, you want to go to Tools, Options, then select the Data tab. From there, check the box labeled Display ID next to data name. That should help you out. If that doesn't fix the problem, let me know. Thank you for the reply. He said, one more. What about the number on unit placement on the map? So for unit placement on the map, we're going to open it up. And I have this down here. You can see numbering, but I'm pretty sure this could disappear as well. So I want to see, was that in options as well? Confirm. Display help button and title bar dialog. Might be one of these. Let's just see if we get rid of, yep. So that got rid of that. So you want to be in Tools, Options, and then I think it was Display character next to map name. I think it was these two. Display information on status bar and display unit placement mode. That's how you get these, and then you can select whether the unit is going to be an enemy, ally, or guest when you place it. Okay. What's positioning? Oh, it also tells you their coordinates. Okay. So that's that. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so I got that part. And we have a few more comments. He replied this morning, summary, sorry for my bad English language, it's fine, I'm able to read it. The goblins are so smart and strong. On the map that I made, I didn't add the river, because I guess I added a river in my map. As you can see,
Return your clothes
get ads on my own videos.
Sell them on Vinted. Download the app today.
I've been excited to achieve this for a very long time. The book, the ultimate guide to rebuild.
Units are all done. It all automatically ends. See, we got the river, and I guess all these goblins just kind of zerged them. So there's a few things you can do there. I'm just going to open map, enemies. Do I have any goblins? I'm just going to take one of these goblins. I'm going to paste it into here. So, unit mode, I think the goblin's right here. We'll pop it out. So we got our goblin. Now, a few things we can do is, for damage, you go through the stats. Strength is how much damage they're going to do with physical attacks. Magic is magic attacks. Skill is what their accuracy will be, and I think it defaults to be a little bit of crit as well. Speed is your dodge rate. Luck is for reducing the amount of criticals you receive. Defense is the opposite of strength. So if the enemy has 7 strength and the short sword, let's say, does 5 damage, that'd be a total of 12 damage. You would take that 12, subtract the 3 of the defending enemy, and you would do 9 damage. Resistance is the same thing to magic. This is your movement. I guess this is weapon level and build. I don't use either of these. I don't really know what they do. Okay. So, yeah, let's just see. He has a short sword equipped. So let's go to weapons. Short sword. Oh, I guess in a later video, I just changed. This is where the attack is. I changed it to 0 because I just don't deal with that. Okay. So now, if they are getting too strong, you can just reduce their strength down to 4. Did that work? Unlock 4. So if they're too powerful, you can reduce their strength. You can reduce their hit points. This one's already at 1, but I'll say it was at 10. You can reduce it down to 7. Okay, and you can just mess with the stats. One other thing you can do is you can mess with the AI, which I think I show in later tutorials, but I'll give you a quick rundown here. So you can have the action pattern right here. You can set them to approach, which means they will start charging you immediately. You can set them to move, and then set it so they have a goal. So I can say this character wants to move to that location, and then while moving to that location, to move, you can do attack when unreachable. So they will try to move to that location. If they can't actually get to that spot, they will just attack along the way. And then you have attack when possible. They will move to that location, but if there's anyone they can attack, they will attack that enemy first before they continue to that location. So that's move. You can have wait. So the character will just wait in that location, and if someone attacks them and they can attack back, they will. Or you can do wait only, which I think means they will not attack back at all. So yeah, back for approach, you could do, they will approach, like just start charging everybody immediately, the closest targets. Or you can do range only, where they will stand still, but if someone moves into the range where they can attack them, then they will attack. Custom, I don't know what to do with this. I don't have the in-depth knowledge for that. Now you can have common pattern data. So you can have the unit aim for a unit, or aim for a certain type of data. So let's say an enemy is poisoned. You can come here to aim data, and then you can find the state. Well, I don't see poison here, but let's say they're silenced, and you want this guy to attack people who are silenced. So then they will, once someone is silenced, they will go for that silenced unit. So we will get rid of that. Now for each of these, you right down here, instead of aim, you can do aim with priority, or you can do not aim. So if you want someone to not attack someone who is silenced, you can do not aim and then have silence. And then there's aim with priority. They will still go, but if there's a unit, let's say the enemy lord or the boss, they will aim for the lord first before anybody else. Okay, passable terrain. I have not used this yet, but if you have a certain type of terrain, that you want them to be able to move on, I guess. I haven't really messed with that, so I'm not going to go too much into it. In disallowed action, you can say that they're not allowed to use their weapon, or not allowed to use their item, or a command skill. I didn't even know I can give them command skills and then they will use them. That's interesting. I never tried that. So, those are ways you can change the enemy behavior or stats. Now let's go back to the other ones. On player database, at items, on this video it shows 1 to 5 items, even empty ones. My project is only showing 1. Why? Well, let me see if I can find items. No, that's faces.
I think I'm gonna start cutting carbs. I need to drop my belly fat.
Sorry, guys.
This is the most interesting weight loss stuff.
This is how you change a portrait. Let's use their items anywhere. Maybe it's here. That looks like classes. Still classes.
Physical. Oh, no additional show since we add. So,
Okay, so here's some weapons, not items. That might be what they were talking about. If we open up a new SRPG Studio project, we're going to save that. And we open up weapons, we still have this many here. And we still have this many here. I'm not sure what you mean. On player database, at the items part, on this video it's showing 1 to 5 items, even empty ones. My project's only showing 1. Why? Well, you got me beat there. These are all default ones. I don't know what it means by empty ones. Let me see what I got in my video. Those don't look empty. I'm not on items. Because so maybe what you're talking about is this, where each category only has 1. That's because we only made those we only have those types of weapons. So if that's what you're talking about, so we have the weapons here, but these are different categories. So this short sword, you see how it says fighter sword? Let's see. See, weapon type sword here. I can change that to axe. Now this weapon is an axe. So now if I go to an... Oh, well, let me just do it in the other part. No, don't save that. Let me reopen the file. That was my tutorial. Okay, now we're going to go to database items or weapons. I'm going to change the sword and say it's an axe. How did I do that? I think I clicked this. Original. I'm going to call it an axe. See, now it says it's an axe. So now if we open our goblin and we go to short sword, axe has 2 and now sword has none. Because we are looking at the category of axes and we changed the short sword to be considered an axe. I think that's what you're talking about. Okay. 3. Can we setting auto turn end from project since beginning, not in game? Other questions will come after I finish the next tutorial. Yep. Okay. So the way I have got auto turn end to work is if you're just using your map, you can go open in here. We're doing test map. And I go to configuration and we got auto turn end on. I probably did that previously. But I don't configuration in here, so I'll just exit out of that. But let's say we release a project. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to release it as sample SRPG. And we'll save those changes. Even though I don't remember what I did. Now we'll go to sample SRPG. I'm going to go into the game. We go to configuration, but look, auto turn end is off. So if we were releasing our project and we wanted it defaulted to be on, all we really got to do is go in here and switch it to on, and then give this release this project, because now that should be saved. So if we go back into the game, go to configuration, auto turn end is still on, and then you would release your game. That's the only way I know how to do it, and I believe I went through the Steam forums, and that's the way the developer told us to do it. So, not ideal, because it always defaults to off, but I believe that's what we got to do. Okay, sorry, I'm a little stuffy. I got a runny nose. Okay, that should be it. I think we answered all the questions here, and I will do this as a tutorial 3x or something, because we answered some questions. Guys, have a good day.